All right, we're back for our dragon match here. We just watched Chris R. Sinkwater build Kevin's pool. Ended up with a Simic deck, and looking at Kevin's starting hand from his side, looks like he settled on the same thing. And yes, these cards are not an optical illusion. I think it's some sort of April Fool's thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Cards all
seeing
look
for here.
completely ravaged in every possible way. Yeah, so we see quite a few of the same cards that Chris settled on, which, as you were saying, seems to be sort of the norm here.
hmm Yeah, right now in Chris's hand, we got a bounce off, a spectral interference, a locks it on eavesdropper, 4-drop, and a Ketradon. So as we're going to see a cycle from the Ketradon, unless nope, nothing from Kevin.
Huh.
So no cycle.
So Kevin, I think, just straight up made an error here by not playing his island because he has a couple counter spells. So I think he
Oh,
just misplayed the forest there because he has phantom interference and spectral interference. All the
hmm.
interferences you could want. So I don't know if he
That
was. I can't
is
imagine that was on purpose because
no,
I think I would have countered that centipede immediately.
absolutely. That's unfortunate.
Out of my life. So looks like he is not going to play his camera launcher, but instead he's now going to hold up the counter spell. It's
Okay,
one of them. He's also
we'll
got a
see
Glimmer
if.
Burst and a Homunculus Horde. So he did go for the Homunculus Horde in his deck, where I
All right,
believe
so
Chris did not.
Loxodon's coming out, probably going to get countered.
No, you can't counter my boy like that.
Looks like he won't be eavesdropping on anything today. And the Horde.
Yeah, he does have a Glimmer Burst next turn to follow up. Does Chris have
That's pretty
anything for
neat.
that?
Well, he's got a bounce off and a spectral interference, so I don't think he'll be getting the extra homunculi he was looking for.
Yeah, and that's another sort of downfall of this card. It's like you played your 4 mana 2/2, you then untapped with it, you then went to draw cards, and then your opponent like messed around with it, right?
hmm It puts too much agency in your opponent's hands.
Okay, so it looks like he's just going to pass. Glimmer Burst draws 2 cards at instant speed, so it can actually you can actually just do it
Oh, Chris
on
is
this turn.
considering the bounce off, which would give Kevin a window for the Glimmer Burst, which we'll see if he takes advantage of.
I mean, I would.
He's going to.
And spectral interference, no good for that.
He could. Yeah, right, because.
That only counters creatures or artifacts, and now there's a homunculus
Oh,
board. So even the token has the
Has the.
damage border.
That's great.
So I believe,
Yeah, so.
unlike Chris, Kevin does have a swamp in his deck, so I assume there's at the very least the Azoni there.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's a kind of an unfortunate turn of events for Chris.
I mean, he played a Ketradon. That's not that unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, looking at the cards in Chris's hand. I mean, he does have the run over and the spectral interference still, but yeah, that bounce off.
All right, so he's just going to soak up some damage here from this 1/1. The poor bunny didn't do anything to deserve that, but here we are.
It's a brutal world out here in the league.
Oh yeah, cutthroat. All right, bestow greatness is a draw here. So yeah, very similar build here. So
Yeah,
Kevin also has Hotshot Investigators, which I believe bounces a creature, or is it a tapped creature?
I think it's an artifact.
Huh. But no, I think it bounces a creature, but if you bounce your own creature, you get a bonus.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Benthic Criminologist. Yes, I believe if you bounce your own, you get you investigate. I believe.
All right, well, Homunculus Horde's coming down and probably not going to stick around.
Yeah, that is. It does not have 4 mana to pay.
Of note, there's no other card draw in hand for Kevin except for potentially the Hotshot Investigators, but that's you know.
So Homunculus is just going to look like a 2/2 for now.
I mean, he's just chilling. Like this card might just sit there for a while, and then eventually start going off. Like
hmm
we don't know exactly the contents of Kevin's deck, but we can assume he's built a deck that can support it enough. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This chump blocking plan is not sustainable, but again, neither is taking 6 every turn.
No. What kind of stuff does Kevin have in hand right now?
Yeah, so he's got the Bestow Greatness, Spectral Interference, which hasn't found a target for yet, and the Hotshot
Hmm.
Investigators and a land. So nothing too much. He's
All
drawn a
right, so
yeah.
still got some play.
He's drawn a Hive Spine Wolverine, which I believe the modes are fight a token,
Oh, the Bloomborough one.
destroy
Yeah.
an enchantment or artifact, or put counter on it. Something of that nature.
Yeah. Fight a token, put a +1 on something, or why am I blanking on the like catch-all destroy artifact or enchantment spell?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Naturalize. That's the one.
Yeah, or disenchant, the original one.
Or disenchant. Cool.
But yeah, the green disenchant.
The green disenchant.
Yeah, so he ran over this homunculus again. We know that there's nothing in hand to stop it,
Hmm.
but yeah, he does get to catch the Ketrodon on back on the way down here.
Yeah.
Now the board's looking pretty good for Kevin here all of a sudden, and he's well,
There's the memorial.
that is a card to pull off the top of your deck. Absolutely.
We're certainly seeing the situation in which it is a good card.
Oh yeah. I mean, if Chris is drawing nothing anyways, like Kevin just plays a Wolverine
Hmm.
last turn and is like still going to be quite ahead here.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, this Akroma's Memorial will definitely turn these
It
tables.
very firmly puts the nail in the coffin.
All right, he's just going to go on bestow greatness here to win the game.
That'll do it.
No need to prolong this any further. So yeah, very timely Akroma's Memorial to wipe up the back half of this game here for Kevin. Yeah, so he does have the Izoni, and he is also playing the Dreadwing Scavenger, which were the two cards that we
Okay. Yeah.
theorized may be worth splashing. He is, funnily enough, he is playing the Rangers Ether Hive, only with a couple of uh, exhaust cards. He too seems to be no fan of the Waxen Shape Thief here. Very
Maybe that's just a
curious.
you, Richard. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is that's like the Principal Skinner meme there? It's
No, it's the children who are. Yeah, yeah.
it's the children. It's not me. I'm not out of touch.
Yeah.
But I mean, it has cycling. Like, how bad can it
No,
be?
I feel you. I feel you. I think I sometimes struggle, especially as the power level of cards rises. Cycling looks less and less appealing because it's like, oh well, I want the card, but like unless you really need that card for something, just
Yeah,
spend your mana.
I will say like 10 years ago, the limited formats were depowered enough compared to today that 2 mana as a buyout on your otherwise like card that's not going to do anything to cycle was okay. But nowadays, like you can't really always, especially in the early game, you can't just tap 2 mana to cycle. You have to play stuff on turn 2 and turn 3. You can't
Hmm.
just cycle cards. So I will say cycling 2 is like significantly worse than it used to be.
Hmm.
But I
Well,
mean
Chris is eyeing
that
the
card has to be
zoning.
fine anyway.
No, I agree. I think. I mean, at least for myself, I don't think I could help from playing it.
So okay,
Chris is eyeing the zoning. He was also eyeing to trade the helm, which could. I mean, not that I think a Chroma's Memorial needs to be his primary thing to be worried about, but it could deal with the trade the helm with the Chroma's Memorial if he needed to.
yeah, I mean he would have to hold it in hand until the memorial came out, and he would probably take a bunch of damage the turn the memorial came down. That doesn't seem to be the answer that I would be looking for. Kevin, I think either did no sideboarding or maybe brought in one card, but it was whatever he did was quick. I think it was no changes, but maybe there was something he did.
Yeah.
But
So
we're
far,
just
Chris is taking
on
out the
the waiting screen.
Glimmer, which I think maybe just trying to go a little longer in the game. The Glimmerlight not really going to do very much in a longer game.
Yeah, I think Glimmerlight is like another card that was like a good in its format in Chaos. It's like kind of whatever.
Yeah, it ticked a lot of boxes for the archetypes in Duskmourn, but
Yeah,
like in a general limited
it
environment,
made an enchantment.
not.
It was an artifact for Delirium. It did
As a
just
creature
enough.
with power to us, like
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
another card that gets a bump down for Chaos.
Hmm.
I mean, it can't be
Yeah.
that. Like when I first read the Glimmerlight, I was like, wait, it doesn't attach like automatically when it comes in. It's not just like a 2-2.
Like this is the most non-card ever, and then it was like,
It just turned out to be pretty good.
yeah.
All right, so we're ready to battle here for our second game. Pretty reasonable hand for Kevin here. What's Chris got?
Oh, he's got a bounce off, a midnight mangler, a run over, and a migrating catcherdon. So pretty solid. Get that mangler out, and I just drew Loxodon on Surveyor. So
We're gonna have a mangler battle here.
just staring each other down on opposite turns.
Yeah, so we got also in hand Glimmerburst, Run Over, Afterburner Expert, and some lands.
Yeah. Afterburner Expert, not nearly as appealing without an abundance of exhaust.
Yeah, which is what I was saying before. I mean, you still play it. It's a 3-mana 4/2 that could become a 6/4. Again, with only like I think there's like 2 other exhaust cards in the deck. There's a Scurryfoot and a Camera Launcher. And I think and I think Chris didn't. Well, we're gonna have a Surveyor standoff. So we're just
it's a mirror match, all right.
True mirror match. There's a hole in his
plan. Oh, Kevin coming with the smack talk.
It's apparently to play the same cards as me as your hole. But I think the hole in Kevin's plan is that he was on the draw for this game, where an opponent's playing all the same cards. Mm-hmm. Well, he says you could play it again. I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess nothing else to do here this turn.
Well, he was holding a Scrounging Skyray in hand and got a couple of things he could cycle, but I guess he's just trying to do a poor man's time walk.
I mean, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Is he just gonna try and run this over here?
You also have a This Town Ain't Big Enough.
Okay.
The bounce spell that's discounted. Just drew a Bestow Greatness, but no land, which is unfortunate. I think he has to be very judicious in his interaction to give himself some time to get to that Catcherdon.
Yeah, well, he's missed lands already, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so trade off here. What's his follow-ups? All right, so time for a 4/2. He's got his run over up in case he sees something he wants to go after. Next turn he could Glimmer Burst.
Oh, that's a nice draw for Kevin.
The land.
Drawing a land is also nice.
Okay, nothing to do. I guess he has some instance.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got that This Town Ain't Big Enough. He's got the run over. He's got Bestow Greatness, which could definitely get blanked by that run over if you tried to.
Yeah, none of those are doing
take the initiative.
And this Glimmer Burst is going to help put Kevin potentially ahead here.
Mm-hmm.
If Chris can't draw out of this. Yeah, the Catcherdon is going to be a premium target here for the Unable to Scream sitting in hand.
Oh, right. But I will say, Chris does have This Town Ain't Big Enough in hand, so could very quickly bounce that back and replay, gain another 4 life.
Yeah, I mean, in the scenario where that does occur, Kevin does have the run over, so you could run over the Catcherdon that's been made into a 0/2 if need be, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and try and nail down that.
Okay, just going to bounce.
This time, enough. Fair enough.
We do have the Achroma's Memorial drawn here, which
oh boy,
is going to be good to go next turn. Kevin does have a card he can't cast in hand, which is the Dreadwing Scavenger here.
Yeah, no black for Kevin, which was what we were talking about earlier. Not a ton of fixing for black to go around in the pool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I do think Izoni sort of meets the threshold of, I can have a bit. I could upset my mana base a little bit because that card just can win the game.
Absolutely.
Scavenger less, so still good, but like less of a card I would be looking to splash. And he's drawn his other black card here because, of course, that's how the game works.
That's limited, I suppose.
But he's got an Izoni with plenty of evidence in the graveyard, but cannot cast it as of yet. I guess he's just going to try and resolve his Akroma's Memorial here.
Fair enough. No counterspell in hand.
No further creatures to play, but I mean, this one will do a good job in the meantime.
Well, so there is a Flood the Engine in hand for Chris.
Okay.
So that would deal with the Afterburner Expert pretty nicely.
But it would lose so many abilities. That's like the most abilities ever taken away, perhaps, by a Flood the Engine.
Highest value Flood the Engine we have seen. And you'll never guess what Chris just drew, but his own Akroma's Memorial.
Okay.
And he's got a Glimmer Burst in hand now,
so when everybody has an Akroma's Memorial, nobody has an Akroma's Memorial.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely think this is going to make sense for Chris. Beyond that, I think he's just really looking for that 6 land drop, because if he can just get that Ketradon down, he's in good position.
Yeah, the Unable to Scream is still sitting there telling the waiting for a target. This Capricorn is going to be pretty good with the Memorial here, making 2 bodies.
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty good. I mean, I will say, just because it's a mirror match where both people are playing Simic, the protection from black and red doesn't come up. But like, imagine if your opponent is playing one or both of those colors. Like, this must be infuriating.
Yeah, that is an outright game ender right there.
Like, they already have Indestructible, right? And now it's like you can't even try to. Do they have Indestructible?
That's what I'm trying to remember. We'll check real quick.
They have everything.
It just feels like they do.
Yeah.
Akroma's Memorial.
Yeah, this is that's a rough one. He missed.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying Chris missed his lands a few too many times.
Yeah. I mean, 5 mana with, and I can't quite tell exactly how many, but I feel like he's getting into like 2/3 territory, or not 2/3, but like over 50% land.
More bodies here.
That's the way to go, and I don't think there's much to do.
Everything has haste, right? So he can just run over here, and I mean,
that'll do it.
Akroma's Memorial, I was saying beforehand, is it good? Is it, I mean, I think we've seen it in its, in its best scenario.
I would agree. I agree.
And in the best scenario, it wins the game. So it's got to be.
Yeah, I look at these games and think like, oh, Akroma's Memorial is so busted, but
yeah. All right. So
congratulations
to Kevin on slaying the dragon here in our week 2 feature match. So congratulations, and we'll be back for our final match a little bit later.